Hello and welcome to my channel. It is ZG here. If you like my content I bring to YouTube, please like and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, all links are on my YouTube main page. Feel free to follow me on Twitch if you like to watch a streamer stream a variety of games, also Magic the Gathering. Thanks for any support and engagement, it means a lot. I won't waste your time and let's... What is up guys? In today's video I'm going to cover a commander deck whose commander is Triad of Fates. Now, Triad of Fates is a human wizard 3/3 body that reads for 1 generic and you tap it with a fate counter on target creature. For a white and tap, you exile target creature that has a fate counter on it, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. And then for 1 black and you tap Triad of Fates, you exile target creature that has a fate counter on it. Its controller draws 2 cards. So with this, you can put, with this commander, the deck is focused on putting fate counters on creatures, blinking them, exiling them, and then recurring EDB effects and a lot of other shenanigans. So let's just jump right into the deck, and I'm gonna showcase the main win condition. So the main win condition is Corpse Knight. Now I'm gonna show you why. Corpse Knight is a 2/2 zombie knight that reads whenever another creature enters a battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Now how you win with this deck, as well as with Triad of Fates, is you blink creatures and have them enter the battlefield, and then each opponent loses 1 life. So you can slowly start draining everyone until each opponent loses all their life. But the main win condition is Felidar Guardian and Wisp Weaver Angel. So for 4 mana, you can play a Cat Beast, so that has a 1/4 body, and it reads, when Felidar Guardian enters the battlefield, you may exile another target permanent you control. Then return that creature, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. And you basically target Wisp Weaver Angel. That is a 6/4/4 flying angel that reads, when Wisp Weaver Angel enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So what you basically do is you play Felidar Guardian, then turn 6 or before you play Wisp Weaver Angel, and then you blink Felidar Guardian, and then with Felidar Guardian you blink Wisp Weaver Angel. And that basically demonstrates an not infinite, but like a loop until you blink something else. And then you basically you drain everyone for 1 life through Corpse Knight. So in the deck, we have ways to reanimate. Okay, so this is also not a win condition, just very good synergy. Sun Titan is a 6 mana 6/6 giant with vigilance that reads, when Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target creature permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And what you do with this each time you attack and blink it is you get back Abyssal Gatekeeper. That basically, when it dies, each player sacrifices a creature. The Demon's Disciple, it enters, and then each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Same with Playcrafter and Gravelighter. But Gravelighter is a bit different because when it enters a battlefield, draw a card. If a creature died this turn, otherwise each player sacrifices a creature. So with this, you can play it to draw a card, or you can play it and then each player sacrifice. And then we have Fleshback Marauder, also a 3 mana sacrifice effect. So with this combo, like with this synergy, you basically play Sun Titan, you blink it, you attack with him, and then you basically recur spells, you recur creatures that can be reanimated with the Sun Titan and have each player sacrifice a creature. That way you can keep keep creatures off the board. And then ways to ramp in this deck, you have Bonder's Ornament, Spinning Wheel, you can also tap a creature, Manalith taps for any color, Replicating Ring. If it has 8 night counters on them, you remove all of them and create 8 colorless no artifacts tokens named Replicating Ring. So in 8 turns, this turns into 8 mana rocks, but it can happen, but it's still 8 turns. We have Ores of Cluestone, Ores of Kirun, Ores of Locket, and then Ores of Signet. The 2 mana for 1, and then you tap it. it's 2 mana, and then for 1 mana you tap it to add white and black. And then ways to dig for the combo pieces is Diabolic Tutor, straight up tutor for any piece that's missing. Read the Bones, scry to draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Sun in Blood, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Then Phyrex Enrager, you can also blink it, but it basically reads you draw a card and you lose a life. Wall of Omens, it's a 0/4 wall that has Defender, and when it enters the battlefield you draw a card. Dusk Legion Zealot, it also you draw a card and you lose a life, but can also be blinked. And as you can see, some of the ways to dig for the combo pieces can be blinked or casted. Oh, I missed Razakev's Ride. So Razakev's Ride is also in the digging for combo, but I seem to have missed it. And another like strategy is to protect your combo, and I'm going to show you how. So with Make a Stand, creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn. Sageri's Shelter, target creature gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Otherworldly Journey, you exile a target creature and then it comes back to the battlefield at the next end step. Acrobatic Maneuver, you basically exile a creature, it comes back and then you draw a card. Flicker of Fate, exile target creature or enchantment, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Stave Off, target creature gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. God's Willing also gives you protection from any color, and you also scry one. And that is it for protecting your combo. Next is just ways to interact with the board and the other player. Besides the Sun Titan 3 mana synergy, is Mortify, destroy target creature or enchantment, also get rid of enchantments. Disenchant, destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Dire Tactics, very good because the Triad of Fates is a human. You exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. Agonizing Remorse, the target reveals their hand, you choose a non-land from it, and then they exile that, and you lose 1 life. Price of Fame is a 4 mana instant that says destroy target creature and has Surveil 2, but if it targets a legendary, it costs 2 less. Poison and Cup, you can be foretold for 2 and then played for 2 mana, but otherwise it's 3 mana destroy target creature. And then if this card was foretold, you can scry 2. So in your first main phase, you basically foretell it for 2 mana. And then you can later on cast it for 2 mana, and then you can scry 2 as well. Doomblade, destroy target non-black creature. Just good removal for anything non-black. Victim of Night, destroy target non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie creature. And you would be surprised on how many there are. Eliminate, low on the ground, 2 mana instant that says destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. Duress, target opponent reveals their hand, you choose a non-creature non-land card from it, that player discards that card. And that's it for interaction. I think most of the interaction comes from the Sun Titan Sun Titan reanimating strategy, but here are some cards that you want to flicker with Triad of Fates. It's Abhorrent Overlord. You create 1/1 Harpy creature tokens with flying equal to equal to your devotion to black, and then at the beginning of your upkeep sacrifice a creature. Captain of the Watch, you create 3 1/1 white soldiers and white soldier creature tokens, and then each other soldier creature you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Then Grey Merchant of Asphodel, when it comes into the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to that life lost this way. So this is also a very good blink target that you can recur by just constantly blinking it and draining your opponents for life. Stonehorn Dignitary, it's used in Paupertron, but it's very good and cheap. It reads, when Stonehorn Dignitary enters the battlefield, target opponent skips his or her next combat phase. So you can constantly blink this to basically lock a very creature heavy deck out of attacking and combat phases. Ravenous Chupacabra, if it's blinked or enters the battlefield, you destroy target creature and opponent controls. Gonti, Lord of Luxury, it's a weird one. But it's basically a 4 mana 2/3 Aetherborn rogue that reads, when Conti, Lord of Luxury, enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order, and then it reads, you may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana, so it would any mana of even mana of any type to cast that spell. So with this you can basically play cards off the opponent's library, and you can also blink it to constantly play stuff off the opponent's library. And then Glimmerpoint Stag also just a blink effect, but it comes back at the next end step. Basilica Bellhaunt is very good. When Basilica Bellhaunt enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and you gain 3 life. So you can constantly flicker this to basically gain 3 life and have everyone discard a card. Sin Collector is a 3 mana 2/1 human cleric that reads, when Sin Collector enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose an instant or sorcery card from it and exile that card. It's also a very good blink target, so you can constantly exile. You can exile instants and sorceries from an opponent's hand. Flicker Wisp is also, it's a 3 mana 3/1 flying elemental that basically helps you flicker cards and have them come back at the next end step. Fiend Hunter exiles a creature until it leaves the battlefield for 3 mana. Callous Blood Mage is a 3 mana vampire warlock. That's a 3/2/1 body. 2/1 body, sorry. And it reads, when Callous Blood Mage enters the battlefield, choose one. Create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. You draw a card and you lose 1 life, and then you exile target player's graveyard. So it basically has 3 functions. You can create a pest, you can draw a card and lose a life, and then exile a target player's graveyard. So it's basically like a toolbox creature that you can flicker constantly. Thraben Inspector, when it enters the battlefield, you investigate, and for 1 mana, and it's also good to basically flicker. And that's it for creatures that you can flicker. But now I'm going to get to the like a second alternate win condition. It's Daxos Blessed by the Sun and a Johnny's Bridesmaid. So Daxos Blessed by the Sun reads, Daxos' toughness is equal to your devotion to white, but that's not why it's in the deck. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. So with the infinite flicking and flickering going on in this deck, you can have a Johnny's Bridesmaid, constantly get 1/1 counters, and then you can maybe swing for lethal if nobody has creatures, but it's mainly just to gain value of creatures dying and entering, so that you can use your life to play other spells and use it as a resource. So in the value part of the deck, you understand why I have some life gain in the deck. But to start off, we have Depth's Canal. It's a 7 mana enchantment that reads, at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So with this, you can reanimate anything, even in the opponent's graveyard, but it is 7 mana, so it's quite steep. But the reason I added it to the deck is to add devotion to black and white, because it has both. So this will count as 3 devotion, because there's 3 halves of black and 3 halves of white. So yeah, it's just 7 mana. You can either use planes or swamps to cast it. And then we have Call for Unity. It's a 5 mana enchantment that has Revolt, and reads, at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a unity counter on Call for Unity. And this is the best part. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each unity counter on Call of Unity. So what this means is each time a creature or permanent left the battlefield and comes back, it gets a +1, not every time, but like at the beginning of your end step. So each turn you can get 1 counter, and then it reads, creatures you control get +1/+1 for each unity counter on Call for Unity. So with this, you can basically buff up any creature just by the amount of unity counters on Call for Unity. Then we have Greed for black, and pay 2 life, you can draw a card. This is what it's for black devotion, but it can also be used to not cycle, but like use your life as a resource. You have Underworld Dreams to add 3 devotion to black, but it's also very good. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. So with this, let's say you decide to exile an opponent's creature, and if they draw 2 through Triad of Fates, they basically take 2 damage each time. And it says to add value. And then Hidden Stockpile is a 1 white 1 black enchantment that also has Revolt, and it says at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, create a 1/1 colorless server artifact creature token. And then for 1 mana you can sacrifice creature and scry 1. So with this you can basically exile the servo token through Triad of Fates and then draw 2 cards at the beginning of your end step. Constantly, like over and over. And then we have Jandor's Saddlebags. It's a 2 mana artifact. For 3 mana you can untap target creature. So let's say you have Triad of Fates, Saddlebags, and Stonehorn Dignitary. I think it's Stonehorn Dignitary. You can put a fate counter on Stonehorn Dignitary, untap Triad of Fates with Jandor's Saddlebags, and then flicker Stonehorn Dignitary again. And then you can stop someone from attacking combat. And then when it's your turn again, you untap both Jandor's Saddlebags and Triad of Fates. And then you can just do it again. And then we have Crashing Dronebitch. That's a 2 mana 0/4 Defender Wall that can tap to give creatures you control haste until end of turn. And that's it for the value. I think that is it for the deck, other than the lands. In this deck we have 16 plains and 16 swamps. This was actually a blast to brew because I had to think outside of the box regarding what I want to flicker and how I want to flicker stuff with Triad of Fates. But it's a very interesting deck. It's a very interesting way to build a deck and synergy, and to use the Triad of Fates synergy in a deck and game. Oh, now I can breathe. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. But yeah guys, that is it from me. I hope you like this type of content. If you do, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.